They don't like you, but you keep trying. You've probably been there. You send a message, they read it, and nothing. A day goes by, then two. Maybe they say they've been busy or they just forgot. But deep down, you feel it. That quiet ache of being sidelined. You make excuses for them. You tell yourself not to seem too needy. But if you're constantly questioning whether someone likes you, you already have your answer. Most people don't miss the things they truly want. They show up, they reply, they lean in. And yet, so many of us fall into the same trap. We try harder, we chase, we wait for someone to change their mind, to see our worth, to finally choose us. This is not just a painful experience. It's a pattern, a repeated mistake that almost everyone makes in dating. We invest ourselves in people who are not invested in us. We fall for the ones who hesitate, who delay, who never give us a clear yes. And in doing so, we overlook the one truth that could change everything. If it isn't mutual from the beginning, it was never meant to begin. We learn to love through lack. So why do we fall for people who keep us uncertain? Why do we feel drawn to the ones who hesitate, who leave us waiting? The answer rarely lies in the present. It lives in the past. For many of us, love was never something given freely. It was something we had to earn. Maybe one parent was distant. Maybe their affection was unpredictable. You learned early on that love came with conditions. You had to behave a certain way, achieve something, or stay quiet just to be noticed. So now, as adults, we confuse emotional strain with emotional depth. When someone makes us work for it, we don't walk away. We lean in, we try harder. Because in our subconscious, love isn't safe or steady. It's a battle to be seen, a contest to be chosen. Deep down, we're not chasing romance. We're recreating a familiar pain, one we think we can finally fix. That cold distance we felt as children becomes the warmth we think we have to fight for now. But no matter how many times we try, we end up in the same place. Not loved, just tired. And yet, we call it love because it feels like home. A broken kind of home, but still the only one we've ever known. Romantic culture lied to us. But it wasn't just family that shaped this script. Society handed us the same message, dressed in prettier clothes. Look at the love stories we grew up with. The movies, the novels, the songs. They all taught us that real love must come with pain. The greater the struggle, the deeper the love. The one who runs away is always the one worth chasing. The more dramatic the conflict, the more meaningful the connection. And we believed it. We watched couples fight, separate, suffer, and somehow call it destiny when they reunited at the last moment. We learned that heartbreak was romantic, that rejection was a kind of poetry, that longing made love more powerful. So now, when someone is unavailable, we think it means something. When they're cold, we assume there's depth. When they hurt us, we call it passion. But here's the twist. These ideals didn't come from truth. They came from art, from literature, from centuries of storytelling built on fantasy and tragedy. We're trying to live out a script that was never meant for real life. Love doesn't have to be a storm to be real. It doesn't have to hurt to matter. But after years of being told otherwise, peace feels boring, and we chase chaos, thinking it's love. Love is not a negotiation. At some point, we have to wake up from the fantasy and face the real question. If someone doesn't choose you from the start, why are you trying to convince them love is not a pitch? You are not a product. Yet we find ourselves campaigning for affection like it's something to win. We explain ourselves. We wait for them to see our value. We tolerate emotional crumbs, hoping for a feast later. But this isn't connection, it's a negotiation. And love was never meant to be bargained for. If someone needs time to decide between you and someone else, they've already decided. If you have to make a case for why you deserve affection, you've already lost yourself in the process. We mistake indecision for mystery. We confuse their hesitation with depth. But it's not deep. It's just distant. And here's the image that haunts so many of us. You stand outside a door. You knock gently, then louder. No, you wait. You knock again. Hours, days, weeks go by. But there's no one on the other side, just silence. Still, you keep knocking, hoping, believing that effort will turn into love. But love doesn't live there. It never did. And the longer you wait at that empty door, the further you walk away from yourself. Real love doesn't leave you guessing. Love is not a puzzle to solve. It's not a riddle wrapped in silence and mixed signals. When someone truly wants you, there is no decoding required. You don't have to analyze their words, overthink their pauses, or wonder what they meant by that message. They make it obvious. They show up. They reach out. They bring clarity, not confusion. But many of us have been trained to romanticize the unclear. We tell ourselves they're shy, they've been hurt, they need time. And maybe sometimes that's true to nobaz. But most of the time, it's not about fear, and it's about disinterest. One of the clearest signs someone is not ready for love is inconsistency. They avoid closeness. They never initiate. They respond when convenient, never when it counts. And we confuse this as emotional depth. We wait for the moment they'll finally open up. But here's the truth. Ambiguity is not vulnerability. It's not sensitivity. It's a polite version of rejection, a soft no that keeps you hoping. But real love doesn't hide behind politeness. It looks you in the eye and says, I'm here. I choose you. And you never have to question it. You don't have to earn love to deserve it. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that love is a reward. That if we become better, more successful, more attractive, more patient, then maybe, just maybe, we'll finally be worthy of it. We carry this invisible scorecard into every relationship, believing that love must be earned. But real love doesn't work like that. It's not something you unlock by being impressive enough. It's something that flows between two people who see each other as they are, not as projects to improve. You don't have to prove your value to be loved. You already have value because you exist, because you feel, because you care. And love should never feel like a mountain you must climb just to reach someone's heart. It should feel like a front porch on a quiet day, a place where you can simply sit, breathe, and be known. You weren't born to chase affection. You weren't made to convince someone you're enough. The right person doesn't make you work for love. They make space for it. And they invite you in without conditions. Stop loving people who aren't ready. If you don't need to prove your worth, then you also don't need to wait for someone to become ready to love you. Waiting is often disguised as devotion, but it's really a form of self-abandonment. We tell ourselves stories to justify it. They're going through a hard time. They need space. They're figuring themselves out. And maybe all of that is true. But none of it changes this: they are not ready. And no matter how patient or loyal you are, you cannot speed up someone else's emotional readiness. The ones who aren't ready often appear magnetic. They carry mystery, depth, pain, and it pulls us in. We think we can be the one who helps them heal, the one who waits long enough to be chosen. But in doing so, We abandon ourselves for the potential of someone else. The truth is, their delays are not neutral. Every time they ask for more time, more space, more understanding, they are keeping you from someone who wouldn't need time at all. Someone who would be ready now. Who would already be showing up, and you deserve that. You deserve someone whose heart doesn't hesitate, someone who doesn't need convincing, someone who is ready the moment you are. Choose the one who chooses you. You've spent enough time trying to be picked, enough energy wondering if you're enough for someone else. It's time to reverse the pattern. Instead of hoping someone chooses you, start choosing the ones who already do. The ones who reach out without hesitation. The ones who make their interest known, not as a strategy, but as sincerity. These people won't confuse you. They won't make you question where you stand. They'll bring calm instead of chaos. And that calm is not boring, it's peace. Real love does not live in the realm of guessing games. It lives in the space where your mind can rest and your heart doesn't brace for impact. You deserve a connection where clarity is the norm, not the reward. A space where you can breathe, not perform. Where you can speak, not translate. Where your presence is enough without needing to impress or compete. Choose the one who makes room for you, who makes it easy to be yourself, because when love is right, you won't feel anxious. You'll feel at home. And that feeling is everything. A relationship worth keeping doesn't make you guess. The right relationship doesn't ask you to strategize. It doesn't require a script or a game plan. You don't need to time your messages or analyze their tone. You don't walk on eggshells or question your every move. Instead, it feels natural, it flows, it brings ease, not tension. And that ease is the real sign you're in the right place. Because love, when it's healthy, is not earned through performance. It's received through presence. When someone truly sees you, you won't have to work for their attention. You won't have to chase clarity. You'll simply be with them, fully, peacefully. The best kind of love feels like coming home. Not the kind of home you tiptoe around, but the kind where you can take off your shoes, exhale deeply, and just be. No more pretending, no more proving, just two people choosing each other, again and again without confusion. That's not a fantasy. That's what you've always deserved.